Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for March 7th, 2013. The Go Home Show for Lockdown. This show was okay, I guess. I thought it was a little weak for a Go Home show. They did build up the angles and everything with the Aces and Eights and Team TNA. And a little of Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, but the matches weren't that good. And I don't know, I thought some of the stuff didn't get any time at all. If you look at the card for Lockdown, there's some matches with Kenny King and Christian York, Zema Ion, Joey Ryan has a match, and they didn't do anything for those matches. So, I mean, I thought TNA with this whole, 3-4 pay-per-views a year now, something like that, they would really be able to build up these shows. And they still have matches that are just thrown on the show. So I don't know what happened with that, but I just didn't really care too much for this one. It wasn't a terrible show or anything, but it was just okay. And I expected more for the Go Home show. But anyways, it starts off with a picture of Paul Bearer. I thought that was really nice. Kurt Angle's backstage with the mask. So, I guess after the Aces and Eights beat him down last week, they let him keep it. I don't know. The cameraman asked him who it is. Who's the vice president of the Aces and Eights? And, of course, he says we'll find out tonight. And it will send shockwaves throughout the entire company. No one is safe. So this is so important. He waited a week before he told anyone? It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. Austin Aries comes out and challenges Jeff Hardy to a match. Hardy comes out. Aries attacks him during his entrance. Aries pretty much dominates Hardy the entire time. Hardy hits the twist of stunner and a twist of fate, but Matt Morgan runs in, kicks Hardy in the face. Matt Morgan is back on TV. You remember him. He's the guy who could bench press 1,000 pounds. So stupid. But he kicks Hardy in the face, but he's not done yet. So he takes Hardy outside and puts his head against the post. He's going to try and cave his head in. And Bully Ray runs out to save Hardy. And he's got the chain, scares Morgan off. It was alright, I guess. I'm not really sure what this means. I mean, as far as the pay-per-view goes, I expect Bully Ray to turn and join the Aces and Eights. And beat Hardy for the title. But now they throw Matt Morgan out there and they could do a Matt Morgan-Jeff Hardy feud without the title. Or Matt Morgan cost Hardy the match. Or Hardy wins and goes on to feud with Matt Morgan. They have a lot of options here with this. I'm not the biggest Matt Morgan fan, so I don't know. A feud could work with him, I guess. He's not the worst guy on the mic. He just doesn't do anything for me personally. I'm not really a big fan of his. And I don't really care to see it, but it has potential, I guess. They could do something good with it. So Sting is giving a motivational speech to Team TNA. Matt Morgan says he told Hogan he would go through his entire roster until he gets what he wants, and he's just getting started. Wes Briscoe comes out. My God, his hair. It's fucking ridiculous. I guess the positive is it's different. He doesn't look like everybody else. But I would not want to walk around like that. I don't know what this guy is thinking. He cannot look at that shit and say, I look good. It is impossible. But anyways, he puts down Kurt Angle and his gold medals. Angle comes out and says, before he reveals the vice president, he's going to beat Briscoe's ass. Al Snow, D'Lo Brown, and Simon Diamond run out to break it up like they always do. And Kurt Angle looks at D'Lo and says, it's him. It's him. And I thought this was pretty cool. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen here. And all of a sudden, Angle charges D'Lo. D'Lo kicks him in the balls. And then he punches Al Snow. Briscoe punches Simon Diamond. And I wanted to see a lowdown, but D'Lo grabs the mask and he goes outside and grabs the microphone and says he's the vice president of the Aces and Eights. And that was pretty much it. He's revealed. I think we all expected D'Lo. I'm glad they didn't try and swerve anybody, or because a lot of people had already heard this rumor, maybe TNA would go in a different direction. I'm glad they didn't do that. Just stick with what you have planned and just let the storyline play out. Don't try and bring in any swerves because it always fails. So it is D'Lo Brown. Maybe he'll come back with a chest protector. That would be awesome. But D'Lo's backstage with the Aces and Eights and asks Sting if he can trust Team TNA like he trusts the Aces and Eights. Aces and Eights forever, dog. Sting versus Devon for the man advantage at Lockdown. It's a best of 3. So this is the first match. Whoever gets the 2 out of 3 gets the extra guy at Lockdown. Of course the Hills win this. During the match, a fan throws a drink in Sting's face, allowing Devon to beat him with the big boot. Gail Kim tells Velvet Sky she's going to beat her for the title, and Velvet slaps her. Danny Davis becomes the new gut check judge since Taz has turned heel. And they have to eliminate either Ivelisse or Lady Tapa because they can only have one person out there for gut check. And they eliminate Ivelisse, the one who won the match. And the only reason I can see them doing this is she's got obligations. She said, hey, this isn't going to work with my schedule. I want to go do MMA instead. And they said, okay, we'll eliminate you and go with Lady Tapa. There is no way they are stupid enough to eliminate her if she actually wanted to be a wrestler. If she wanted to be a wrestler, they should not only let her go over and gut check, but put her on TV immediately, I think. So I'm sure there was some behind the scenes stuff with Ivelisse not wanting to do it. Chavo, Hernandez, and Velvet versus Gale, Daniels, and Kazarian. Hernandez dives on Daniels and Kazarian, and Chavo's on the outside with them. Gale hits Eat Defeat on Velvet for the win. Sting is pissed off backstage. He wants to know if he can trust Magnus. We get another AJ Styles video. This one was incredibly short. The cameraman finds AJ at a bar or something, and AJ runs out and says he told him to leave, throws him back in their car, and that was it. Samoa Joe and Magnus versus Garett and Doc. Fans chant, "You can't wrestle like Garett." And watching this match, I was actually thinking it would kind of be cool to see a Wade Barrett Magnus tag team in WWE. I know WWE is going around scooping up all these indie guys, but I think they're kind of missing the boat on Magnus and some of these other TNA guys. Because TNA also has some really talented wrestlers. I know they have contracts and everything they have to wait out. But they have some guys that are young, like Magnus, who's 26, I believe, who they could really do a lot with, who have a lot of potential. So I don't know why they haven't really looked into him. Anyways, Joe and Magnus hit the old tag team move they used to do, the Snapmare Elbow combo for the win. Kenny King says he will do whatever it takes to keep his title. Eric Young gets serious and tells Sting he's always stepped up. But Sting gives the last match to Storm and tells Eric Young he's his wild card, bitches. Gut check for Lady Tapa. Fans chant no, so of course the judges say yes. But I have to say I agree with the judges here because I know Lady Tapa has a lot of room to improve. But I think she could be a great female wrestler for TNA as far as an awesome Kong, just giant, dominant female. And they could do a lot with her. She definitely has potential. And she's different. Robbie E cuts a promo on Rob Terry for their match at Lockdown. James Storm versus Anderson. During Storm's entrance, I have no idea what this was. Maybe I'm the only one that noticed it. But during Storm's entrance, there's a thing that popped up on the bottom of the screen that said, courtesy of International Chiropractors Association Symposium. What did this mean? Why was this out there? It just happened during his entrance, and I kept going back and watching it again because what was this for? I mean, it's irrelevant. It means nothing to the overall show. I'm just curious. So Storm gets ready for the super kick, and the Aces come out. Then Team TNA comes out, and while Storm's distracted, Anderson hits the mic check for the win, so the Aces and Eights get the man advantage. Bully Ray and Brooke come out. Jeff Hardy comes out. Bully says he's proud of Hardy for beating his demons, and he says he has to beat Hardy to prove to be proud of himself. Hulk comes out. He says the small company became a good little company. It says he will find the new leader of TNA at Lockdown, and the Aces and Eights hit the ring. So Team TNA runs out and hits the ring. They all start brawling with each other. It's just another way to try to pop a rating because they got kind of a tiny increase in the rating last time they ended the show with a big brawl. So I'm sure that's what they were trying to do here, is pop a rating a little bit, but I'm sure it didn't do anything. So yeah, the show ended with a big brawl. Team TNA versus the Aces and Eights, and they're going into Lockdown. They're going to have the Lethal Lockdown match. Going to have Bully Ray and Jeff Hardy. Going to have the tag title match with Austin Aries and Bobby Roode versus Chavo Hernandez, Daniels, and Kazarian. Kenny King versus Christian York and Zema Ion. Joseph Park versus Joey Ryan. Velvet Sky versus Gail Kim, I believe. And what else is there? I don't know. I don't even think AJ Styles is going to be there. Apparently he sent out a tweet during the show saying he's going to be in the Chicago show next week. So I don't know. As far as Lockdown goes, I'm not really looking forward to it. Even if Bully Ray does join the Aces and Eights at this point, I could give a shit. I mean, I just don't care. I guess it could be something different with him getting a title run. That could be interesting. Possibly something with this Matt Morgan feud. That might be interesting. I don't know. I'm not really excited about this show, but I've gone into TNA pay-per-views before expecting nothing, and I've really enjoyed the show. So I'm hoping that happens Sunday. We'll see. But as far as this goes, average go-home show. Just an average show in general. So that's my review of this week's TNA Impact. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye. And a little of Bully Ray, Jeff Hardy, but the matches weren't that good, and I don't know. I thought some of the stuff didn't get any time at all. If you look at the card for Lockdown, there's some matches with Kenny King and Christian York, Zema Ion, Joey Ryan has a match. And they didn't do anything for those matches. So, I mean, I thought TNA with this whole, 3-4 pay-per-views a year now, something like that, they would really be able to build up these shows, and they still have matches that are just thrown on the show. So, I don't know what happened with that, but beat him down last week. They let him keep it. I don't know. The cameraman asked him who it is, who's the vice president of the Aces and Eights, and of course he says we'll find out tonight. And it will send shockwaves throughout the entire company. No one is safe. So this is so important. He waited a week before he told anyone? Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for March 7th, 2013. The go-home show for Lockdown. This show was okay, I guess. I thought it was a little weak for a go-home show. They did build up the angles and everything with the Aces and Eights and Team TNA. I just didn't really care too much for this one. It wasn't a terrible show or anything, but it was just okay. And I expected more for the go-home show. But anyways, it starts off with a picture of Paul Bearer. I thought that was really nice. Kurt Angle's backstage with the mask. So I guess after the Aces and Eights beat